Welcome back to class. My name is Carly and I am your teacher. We are going to have our lesson today of cookie troubleshooting. I have been developing and publishing cookie recipes on the internet for free for the last 8 years. I've made probably thousands of batches of cookies at this point and published multiple hundreds. So I kind of know my stuff. We are going to go through today the top 7 most troubling things that can happen with your cookies, and I will give you the fix for that. But before we do that, I am going to give one piece of advice that will change your life, okay? If you're not doing this already, put this into practice and your cookies will be so much better. After you make your batch of dough, before you bake all of your cookies, I want you to bake one test cookie. Okay, scoop one singular cookie out, put it on a pan and bake it in the oven. This is going to make it so that you can make adjustments to the rest of your dough so you don't have to throw out an entire batch of cookies and just be sad for the rest of the day because you don't have good cookies to eat and you've wasted a bunch of ingredients. I do a tester cookie on literally every single batch of cookies I make. So now that you're going to start doing a tester cookie whenever you make cookies, right? Let's learn how we can change the rest of that dough to make the perfect cookie if our tester cookie doesn't come out quite right. The first most common problem is that your cookies spread for days. Nobody likes that at all, okay? There are 2 main reasons that your cookies might be spreading way too much, super thin, look like pancakes, okay? If they spread for days and they're looking oily, both of those things, you need more flour. Flour is what gives structure to your cookie. If there's not enough flour, they will spread for days and they will sometimes look greasy on top. Not all the time, majority of the time though, I would say that they look a little bit greasy on the top. Add about 1/4 of a cup, up to 1/4 of a cup more flour to the rest of your cookie dough that's in your bowl. Bake another tester cookie and see how that works out. My guess is that it'll fix it. Another reason why they might spread way too much is that your oven temperature is actually too low. I know it doesn't quite make sense, but I have made so many cookies and this is what happens all the time. If I accidentally put my oven too low, like I have a couple recipes that call for 375, and if I accidentally set my oven for 350, bad news bears, okay? We have a sheet pan full of cookie dough, not baked cookies. It's not a fun one. But the tricky thing is sometimes your oven will say, like you'll go, set to 350 please, and your oven will be like, okay, I'm at 350, but your actual oven is not calibrated right, so it's low. So it's like 325. Easy fix though. Amazon, you can get a really inexpensive oven thermometer. It just hangs on the rack of your oven, and then it'll tell you what the actual temperature is inside of your oven. So let's say it's running a little low. All you need to do is like compensate for it, right? So if it's 25 degrees low, bump your oven up to 375 and make sure it's actually reading 350. Does that make sense? So if you grab an oven thermometer, you can just rule that out immediately. So if your oven is correct, it is most likely not enough flour. Another thing that could cause it to spread too much is if you don't refrigerate your dough and the recipe calls for you to refrigerate the dough. I personally am more of a fan of like, I want cookies and I want them into my mouth and tummy as fast as possible. So I would say all of my recipes, except for like 2 or 3, maybe, are no chill recipes because I don't like chilling my cookie dough. So I developed the recipe so that we don't have to. But if you're following a recipe that requires chilling, you've got to do the chilling or else they will spread like crazy. Number 2 is the opposite problem. They don't spread at all. So as you can imagine, these are opposite here. So opposite problems are true, okay? Too hot of an oven will make it so they don't spread as much, and too much flour will make it so they don't spread as much. So if you scoop your little cookie dough ball and do your tester cookie and it looks exactly how it did when you scooped it, that's okay. All you need to do is add a little bit of liquid to your cookie dough, the rest of your cookie dough. You can do this by adding some milk. You could do some canola oil if you like that buttery, crispy texture on the edges of your cookies. Generally what I do is I just add a little bit of milk to the cookie dough and they will spread. It's kind of like magic. I would do one more tester cookie to make sure that it spreads to your liking. You can always add more milk. So I would start with 1 tablespoon, maybe 2, start with 1, do another tester cookie. And if you want to spread a little bit more, then you could do another tablespoon. Let's talk about too hot of an oven though. Okay, this, you will know that it is a too hot of oven problem if your cookies do not spread. They get super like golden brown, almost overdone on the outside, but then when you break it open, it's like so undercooked on the inside, okay? This is because the heat of the oven is so hot that it makes a crust on the outside of your cookie before it has a chance to spread. So that's why we need to have the correct temperature so that it can spread and harden and crisp up at the same time. Too low of a temperature, it doesn't crust fast enough so that it just spreads. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Number 3, dry and crumbly. Nobody wants dry and crumbly cookies. Those are the worst. I mean, unless you prefer dry and crumbly cookies, but I don't think you'd be here if you like those. Dry and crumbly almost always means overbaked, okay? Especially if you're thinking, oh, like I love these cookies fresh out of the oven. When they're warm, they are perfect, delicious, but as soon as they cool down, they just get so dry, so hard, or like the next day they're super dry or hard, overbaked. Almost can guarantee it. You want to pull your cookies out of the oven when the edges are just beginning to turn golden brown, just like ever so slightly, and then the tops are no longer underbaked. Okay, so if you look at the top of the cookie, it won't be shiny, it won't be glossy. It will be more of a matte look, and it can be puffed up a little bit depending on your cookie recipe. If you use baking powder in your cookie recipe, it will be puffed up a little. So you have to just remember that when you pull your cookies out of the oven and they're cooling on that hot cookie sheet, they're continuing to bake, okay? They're going to continue baking as they cool down. So just trust the process, and you need to just pull them out of the oven a couple minutes sooner next time. And of course, you can use your tester cookie with this as well to figure out how long you should be baking your cookies for. So do your tester cookie. If everything else is perfect, it doesn't spread too much, it spreads just enough, it just ends up a little bit dry, just bake it for a few minutes less. Number 4, cakey. I am partial to a super nice, chewy, fudgy, melt in your mouth, delicious cookie. Some people like cakey cookies, and that's fine. If that's you, you do you, boo. But if you don't like your cookie to be cakey, if it's really thick, but you bite into it and it's like almost spongy, like a cake, there are 2 ingredients that I would suggest you kind of mess with within the recipe. Unfortunately, this is not one that you can fix after the tester cookie. This is just a recipe problem. If there are too many eggs in the recipe, it can turn out cakey. And if there's too much baking powder, it can also turn out cakey. So baking powder lifts more than baking soda, and baking soda lends to the spreading of cookies and browning of the cookie dough, while baking powder is more of like the puff, okay? So that can be cakey. Too many eggs will make things feel cakey. I keep saying cakey, but I have no other word to use. So I would suggest maybe, like in the case that your cookie recipe calls for 2 eggs and you don't like that finished texture, I would maybe try next time to do 1 egg plus an egg yolk. But you need to remember that we don't want to miss out on that liquid there, or else we will end up with too much flour. We got to keep everything balanced. So you'll want to add in a little bit of milk or a liquid of some sort to make it so that they still spread correctly. 1 egg is equal to 1/4 of a cup, or 4 tablespoons. The yolk is about 2 tablespoons and the whites are about 2 tablespoons. So if you're going to change things up and do 1 egg yolk, I would do 2 tablespoons of milk. Number 5, burnt bottoms. Nobody wants burnt bottom. Okay, 2 things that can cause burnt bottoms. Number 1 is using a cookie sheet that has a dark coating on it, okay? Like a dark non-stick coating sometimes, but that will burn the bottoms of your cookies. The tops will be beautiful and you're like, yay, and you go in to bite it and like the bottoms are like crunchy and black and burnt and bad news. Make sure you don't use a dark colored pan, okay? Think about in the summertime, You could stand on like the sidewalk that is a light color, perfectly fine barefoot, but like go on the blacktop barefoot, you will burn the bottoms of your feet, right? So it gets hotter, and so it'll burn your cookies on the bottom. And the other thing to remember is you want to bake everything in the oven in the middle of the middle rack, okay? Not too close to the back, not too close to the front or either side, and you want that rack to be in the middle of your oven. The edges and walls of your oven, again, get a lot hotter than the air on the inside. So if you're baking them like on the bottom rack, burnt bottoms, okay? And same goes for if you're baking them on the top rack, your bottoms will be undercooked and your tops will get a little bit too done. Number 6, greasy or oily cookies, which I have thoughts about this, so buckle up. Sometimes this is like a desired outcome, almost, kind of, hang with me. If it is an all butter cookie, your cookie should not be greasy when it comes out of the oven. Okay, if they are overly greasy when they come out of the oven and it's an all butter recipe, there is not enough flour. You need to add more flour. This kind of goes back to spreading for days. You need to add more flour. If they spread fine and they look beautiful, they're not too thin, but they're greasy, that means you need to add flour and a liquid, okay? A liquid like milk. So the flour will soak up that grease, the milk will help it spread. Now, I have a lot of cookie recipes that call for half butter and half margarine. These are a lot of my Insomnia copycat cookie recipes, and I did that because that's how Insomnia makes theirs. And when I tasted theirs for the first time, the buttery crispiness on the edge of the cookie was just like, it was magical. And so I dug and learned and researched and tested to try to figure out what that was. And it's actually margarine. And it's because margarine is made up of oil and then there's some water in there. And during the baking process, the water will evaporate and just leave you with that crispy, oily, melt in your mouth texture. It's not really oily, but crispy edges that just, there's like a little crunch in your mouth, and then also it just melts and it is so good. Okay, I will say with those cookies that have half butter, half margarine, when they come out of the oven, they do look a little bit oily. It's not like after you pick them up, you don't have like oil on your hands or anything. You just need to let them cool and then everything will be okay. I have noticed, however, that with those kind of cookies that use some margarine or like vegetable shortening, I would highly recommend baking on parchment paper, not a silicone baking mat, because the parchment paper tends to like soak up more of that oil instead of it just like sitting on top with the silicone baking mat. And last but not least, taste bland. Nobody wants a bland cookie. That's so sad. There's actually a lot that you can do with some cookie dough that you taste one cookie and you're just like, it doesn't taste quite right, okay? Number 1 thing I would tell you to do is add some more salt. Salt does not necessarily make your cookies salty, but salt actually enhances the natural flavor of whatever you're putting it on. So the salt will actually make your cookies taste sweeter. I know it's a little bit crazy, trust me on it. And then the other thing is add some more flavoring, whether that's vanilla or cake batter or almond, whatever your recipe calls for, I would add some more of that. My very favorite chocolate chip cookie recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and it is so delicious. It is so good. It's my favorite. It's my go-to. Add more vanilla to it. You can always add in mix-ins as well, or next time you make them, you could brown the butter. You can do a lot of things to improve the taste of your cookies and to mess with them. Once you have a great cookie dough base, you can add in whatever mix-ins you want. M&Ms, chocolate chips, peanut butter chips, toffee bits, pretzels, graham cracker crumbs. Like, you can add in literally anything. And so you can get your base cookie recipe and make any kind of cookie you want, really. There's a lot of variety. So those are my top 7 most frequently asked questions or troubleshooting questions that I get. If I didn't answer yours, do me a favor, leave it a comment below. I would love to make a follow-up video or answer in the comments for you, because nobody wants sad cookies. And I know when I need a win in the kitchen, I know I can whip up a batch of cookies and it will just turn my whole day around. And if this video was at all helpful to you, make sure you save it, share it with a friend, like, subscribe. I would be eternally grateful. And I will see you right back here next week for another video.